Welcome back, everyone. I asked in a recent post which upcoming Donghua episodes you'd like to see explained from the novel, and thank you all so much for voting. Since you voted for all the Donghua, I'll be creating novel explanation videos for every upcoming episode. And yes, this episode will be a lot longer, because many of you said you wanted longer ones. But if you prefer shorter episodes or have any other feedback, let me know in the comments below. So let's start. Previously in Swallowed Star episode 197, Luo Feng stunned the Lord of Chaos City after mastering the Star Tower, then returned home to reunite with his family. But peace didn't last long. Sword King came crawling to apologize for his family's offense, only to face Luo Feng's ruthless demands, stripping the Ross family of nearly all their wealth. After 3 quiet days with his loved ones, Luo Feng returned to the extraterritorial battlefield. And now, the chaos continues in episode 198, but before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more epic Swallowed Star Donghua recaps. Now, let's dive straight into the battle. Within the ancient Star Tower, deep in the core of its mysterious structure, Luo Feng sat within a grand palace surrounded by swirling energy. He issued an order through the virtual universe, commanding Heavy Arrow to sense his location and teleport through his god country. Moments later, the air rippled with distorted light. From the distortion stepped a tall, masked figure. Heavy Arrow, loyal and solemn, bowing with utmost respect to his master. Luo Feng acknowledged him briefly, his mind already in motion, feeling the silent pulse of the Star Tower's sentience, asking if it should destroy the intruder. This ancient treasure, a supreme weapon of the universe, had a will of its own yet possessed the innocence of a child. Luo Feng calmly denied the command, soothing the tower's eager instinct to kill. He turned his focus to matters left unresolved. Heavy Arrow reported that Tian Chen, once their companion, had hidden his true nature well. If Luo Feng hadn't warned him, Heavy Arrow admitted, he would have never noticed the treachery. The death of Chu Wu Emperor had been the turning point, and Tian Chen's actions afterward had exposed a deeper plot. Luo Feng listened without surprise. He already understood Tian Chen's careful nature, a man who would wait until the final moment to strike. If not for Luo Feng's willpower resisting illusions, he might have fallen into the man's schemes long ago. With cold resolve, Luo Feng instructed the Star Tower to search for all human undyings within its vast domain. The sealed stars around the palace shifted, resonating with ancient energy as the tower obeyed. Heavy Arrow stood silently beside his master, reverent as countless images flowed into Luo Feng's mind, humans training, fighting, conversing in various forbidden spaces. Out of hundreds of thousands of undyings, only 359 were human. Yet among them, Tian Chen's image did not appear. When Luo Feng ordered a deeper scan, using Tian Chen's image from his arm screen, the tower revealed that the man had left 1800 years ago. Shock flickered across Luo Feng's face, quickly replaced by a smile. Tian Chen had escaped the tower's reach, perhaps still wandering the outer region wars, or perhaps returned to humanity. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed coldly. If Tian Chen had left, all the better. There would be no escape when the time came for revenge. Heavy Arrow asked about their next move, but Luo Feng remained calm. There was no rush. Through mutual connections within the Hong Alliance, he would find Tian Chen's allies and track him down effortlessly. Yet for now, Luo Feng's ambition lay elsewhere. He needed more soul slaves. Being the master of the Star Tower granted him immense control. He could sense the positions of countless undyings scattered throughout the forbidden spaces and even teleport between them. To him, the Star Tower was a personal battlefield. No exit could appear unless he willed it. With that absolute advantage, Luo Feng planned his next step. True power in the universe came from allies and subordinates, yet creating loyal slaves was exceedingly difficult. Controlling an undying soul required delicate mastery. Even a slight miscalculation could cause the target to self-destruct or perish before the control succeeded. For most, the task was impossible. For Luo Feng, it was a challenge. He began searching for worthy targets, Emperor Limits and Emperor Pinnacle Soul Masters. These were powerful enough to be valuable, yet still within reach of his strength. His first chosen prey, Black Crow Emperor, a Pinnacle Soul Master of the CIA race under the Demon Camp. Far away, in a blizzard-filled forbidden space, Black Crow sat cross-legged with his 2 allies, the Qiu Jia CIA brothers, massive turtle-like creatures known for their impenetrable defenses. They spoke bitterly about failed hunts, waiting patiently for prey. Black Crow's eerie green eyes glowed as he sensed a new presence approaching. A spatial slit opened amidst the storm, revealing a silver-armored human with gleaming wings descending through the snow, Luo Feng, known to them as Blade River Emperor. Recognition spread among the trio. Blade River's reputation was infamous, his strength and defenses beyond comparison. Yet greed overshadowed caution. Black Crow saw opportunity in the challenge. He taunted Luo Feng, demanding he summon his slave. Heavy Arrow appeared instantly, standing beside his master. Killing intent filled the storm. Both sides prepared to strike. With a thought, Luo Feng activated the star map. 6 black spheres, each carved with intricate engravings, rose from his palm. The battle erupted. Heavy Arrow teleported directly at Black Crow, while the 2 Jia brothers expanded their massive shells and locked down the surrounding space, trapping him in a tightening arena of force. The frozen winds turned violent as the brothers assaulted Heavy Arrow like 2 living fortresses. Black Crow confronted Luo Feng directly, his mind calculating every advantage. He knew Blade River's legend, the emperor who once used the Flame God Crystal to slay 10 emperors in a single stroke. His material defense was said to be unmatched. To face him in direct combat was suicide, so Black Crow turned to his strongest weapon, the soul. His jade-green eyes flared as he unleashed a powerful illusion, a psychic assault meant to enslave Luo Feng's will. But the illusion shattered the instant it entered Luo Feng's body. Within Luo Feng's mind, the beast god manifestation roared, dispersing the attack effortlessly with the might of the Nanshin 7 forms. Black Crow's advantage was nullified. Without hesitation, Luo Feng launched the 6 black spheres. They shot forward faster than lightning, each one ripping through the air and cutting fine slits through space itself. Black Crow's instincts screamed danger. He raised a white shield, but the first impact crushed his arm, the second obliterated the shield entirely. The remaining 4 slammed into his body, shattering his bones and tearing his form apart. Though his undying body regenerated rapidly, the damage was severe. Snarling, Black Crow countered with a soul technique, a piercing Moj howl that slipped past Luo Feng's armor, but it found no purchase. The beast god within roared again, dissolving the attack before it could touch Luo Feng's soul. The imbalance was complete. Luo Feng tested his star map's power, realizing the immense destructive force even without invoking the deeper laws. He was satisfied. This treasures might far surpass expectation. Now he would end it. Channeling his will, Luo Feng activated the law engravings on the 6 spheres. The universe responded. Above him, an enormous projection of a beast god appeared, its right claw formed entirely of the 6 glowing spheres. The claw descended with overwhelming force. Black Crow tried to escape, but the attack ripped through his body, disintegrating his form. As his fragments tried to reform, Luo Feng launched a 7th sphere coated with Fei Mo poison. The purple glowing marble pierced the reforming fragments, destroying over half of Black Crow's god body. Panic set in. Black Crow ordered his allies to flee, but Luo Feng had already moved. The weakened Soul Master could not withstand the next step. Luo Feng unleashed the 10,000 soul control technique, threads of willpower invading Black Crow's mind. For a brief moment, it seemed success was within reach, but Black Crow's desperate resistance shattered the control. Choosing obliteration over enslavement, he self-destructed in a massive explosion that consumed the entire region. When the snow settled, the 2 Jia brothers lay wounded. Luo Feng, unharmed, sighed in disappointment. Controlling a powerful undying soul master was no easy task. Heavy Arrow awaited instructions. Luo Feng ordered their immediate execution. Within moments, Heavy Arrow's purple-edged blade ended them both, and the treasures of all 3 fallen foes were gathered, nearly 50 billion mixed elements in total. Yet Luo Feng showed no satisfaction. The experiment had failed. He resumed the hunt. Using the Star Tower's vast awareness, he selected new targets, each one an Emperor Pinnacle Soul Master. One by one, he struck across different forbidden spaces. Battles erupted and ended within minutes. Day after day, Luo Feng hunted relentlessly. 12 encounters across 4 days, 12 victories, and 12 failures at soul control. 9 of the fallen spread the name of their killer before dying. The name Blade River once again shook the outer region wars. Across demon, automaton, and bug camps, fear spread. Stories circulated of the human emperor who possessed both unbreakable defenses and unstoppable offense, a warrior impervious to both material and soul attacks. Blade River Emperor had become a nightmare. On the 5th day, within a blazing island realm, Luo Feng finally found his next chance. A crystalline figure lay broken upon molten rock, a Pa Luo Hua race soul master, his diamond-like body shattered and poisoned, reduced to barely a third of his full strength. Luo Feng pressed his mind forward, soul threads weaving through the enemy's consciousness. This time, after countless attempts, the resistance faltered. The 10,000 soul control took hold. Success at last. The diamond-skinned Undying knelt before Luo Feng, now bound as Honed Heart Emperor, his newest slave. Heavy Arrow arrived soon after, reporting the deaths of 2 more enemies and offering their treasures. Luo Feng's laughter echoed through the burning space. After so many failures, he had finally succeeded. With Honed Heart at his side, his ambitions soared. By combining their strength, and with the aid of Fei Mo poison, future captures would become far easier. He provided treasures to accelerate Honed Heart's recovery, knowing that only a fully restored slave could serve effectively. From then on, Luo Feng's efficiency multiplied. Battles continued, precise and calculated. Each engagement brought new refinement to his techniques, and though he kept his use of the sealed stars tightly controlled, his dominance within the Star Tower was absolute. Every move, every strike, every kill, was under his command. As his new empire of soul slaves began to form, Luo Feng's mastery deepened, and his confidence grew ever stronger. The hunt within the Star Tower had only just begun. The month-long hunt unfolded like a storm tearing through the endless fields of the Star Tower. For the first 8 days, Luo Feng fought 3 times each day, his blades never resting. Later, he slowed his pace to 1 battle per day, letting the tension within the ancient tower simmer and burn. During the early days, he was always at the front lines, leading his warriors, his presence dominating the battlefield. But as the days passed, he deliberately began to fade into the shadows, allowing his enslaved warriors to take the stage. Their efficiency fell only slightly, but the decision was strategic. Too much exposure, too many kills under his own name, and he would invite the wrath of powers he could not yet face. Across 46 brutal clashes, his army of 1 grew into 9. From the first loyal Heavy Arrow came 8 new slaves, each bound by soul and oath, their wills crushed and reshaped to serve. They brought him treasures, weapons, and wealth. Everything from the fallen was laid before him in absolute loyalty. Luo Feng accepted their offerings and redistributed what he wished, but even with this flood of spoils, he felt the weight of responsibility press harder. Power demanded nourishment, and to strengthen 9 undying slaves required immense resources. Word of the carnage he wrought rippled through the Star Tower like a shockwave. The title of Blade River Emperor echoed across its countless layers. At first, it was only whispers, a few victories, a rising warrior. But soon, the whispers turned to thunder. Within 6 days, he fought 18 battles, 13 of which spread like wildfire through every camp. More than 40 emperors perished by his hand, 13 among them pinnacle soul masters and emperor limits. The tremor of his legend reached every corner. Some called him a demon born from chaos, others a genius of slaughter. The Star Tower, once eerily calm, now seethed with tension. Warriors of every race bristled at his name, gathering in mobs, forming alliances, all with one purpose, to hunt the man called Blade River. Yet when they moved to strike, he was gone. He had vanished into the folds of shadow, replaced by his own enslaved hands. His hidden strategy made them his mask, his shield, and his weapon. The battles grew bloodier. Even without his personal appearance, his influence carved deeper into the tower's veins. His slaves, pretending to act independently, continued the hunt, 2 or 3 at a time, striking once a day, erasing enemies in silence. The chaos he had birthed refused to die. The Star Tower turned feverish. Fear and greed spread like fire. Some weaker warriors fled the deadly halls, unwilling to risk their lives. Yet others, drunk on bloodlust, flocked to the battlefield, eager for wealth or glory. Star Tower became a crucible, filled with madness, suspicion, and the echoes of unending death. Far away, within a forbidden region, a golden-armored figure radiating black light observed the storm with cold fascination. It was Lifefall Emperor, the automaton super warrior, whose strength and battle record were legendary. His mechanical voice rang with excitement, filled with fighting spirit. He had heard of Blade River's slaughter, how he felled over 10 pinnacle emperors and countless others. Such a figure, he decided, was worthy of his time. He commanded 6 subordinates, ordering them to locate Blade River. None had found him, which enraged the automaton lord. To ensure results, he offered a bounty, 1 billion indigo gems for information on Blade River's location. The entire automaton network was mobilized. The hunt had grown far beyond vengeance. It was now a competition among the outer region's elite. Delong, Black Tomb, and others, each kings of their own domains, soon fixed their gaze on Blade River as well. His fame had crossed the threshold where reputation drew predators. For them, to kill such a warrior meant wealth, fame, and proof of superiority. For Luo Feng, it meant every step forward brought stronger eyes watching from the dark. Within the virtual universe, Luo Feng sat in his villa across from King Zhenyan, his teacher and elder. King Zhenyan's tone carried a mix of worry and pride. His disciple had stirred a storm large enough to shake the alliance. Luo Feng, calm as ever, reassured him that he could handle it. King Zhenyan pressed further, questioning whether Luo Feng truly believed he could survive against monsters like Lifefall or Delong. But Luo Feng's gaze was steady. He had gained special encounters, he said, and with that came confidence. King Zhenyan studied him, surprised at the certainty in his voice. After a pause, he sighed, choosing not to argue further. If Luo Feng was truly ready, then he would simply have to prove it. Back in the Star Tower, Luo Feng stood within a grand palace surrounded by sealed stars. His silver armor gleamed as 9 powerful figures knelt behind him, his army of undyings. Heavy Arrow stood at the front, his aura fierce. Beside him were Honed Heart, a pinnacle soulmaster, Zhenzhong, Metal Flag, and Mountain Howl, all emperor limits, and the soulmasters Sorrow Demon and Chu Kan. Among them, Ji Hong carried the true treasure Ancient Clock, and Fu Shui wielded the Ice Net, both relics of immense might. Each of these warriors had once ruled their own domains, but now they served one master. Together, they represented a force that could rival entire factions within the wars. Still, Luo Feng was aware of his limitation. He lacked an undying body to burn. Against enemies who sacrificed their immortal essence, he could only defend and evade, stretching battles into wars of attrition. But now, with 9 undyings under his command, he finally had the countermeasure he needed. They would burn their immortal fires for him when needed. He directly controlled Heavy Arrow, Honed Heart, Ji Hong, and Fu Shui, the most crucial among them, as the Ancient Clock and Ice Net were far more valuable than ordinary warriors. Soon after, within the Hong Alliance, Luo Feng sat sipping tea in a quiet restaurant. The Ping Hai trade had made tea culture flourish across the universe, and the fragrance calmed his mind as he waited. A light knock interrupted his thoughts. On the display wall, a woman appeared, Yong Yen Emperor, clad in purple armor with short hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. She entered when he allowed, curiosity sparkling in her gaze. Once, she had been polite but distant. Now, knowing the stories of his massacre within Star Tower, her demeanor had changed to cautious respect. Luo Feng wasted no words. He needed her help locating Tian Chen Emperor. If she succeeded, he would pay her 100 million mixed elements. Her surprise turned into intrigue. After a brief calculation, she agreed, confirming that Tian Chen was within the Twin Whirlpools, one of the most dangerous places of the 7th battlefield. She promised to relay the precise coordinates upon his arrival. Luo Feng thanked her and vanished. When she was alone, Yong Yen smiled faintly into her teacup. The name Blade River now carried too much weight to underestimate. It was better, she thought, to stay in his good graces. Inside Star Tower, Luo Feng gathered his slaves once more. He asked which among them could reach the Twin Whirlpools fastest. Ji Hong stepped forward, confident. He had been there before and left markers within. Luo Feng nodded, ordering that only Ji Hong and Heavy Arrow accompany him while the remaining 7 would stay hidden within the World Ring, to be summoned only in emergencies. Moments later, light enveloped the trio as they teleported through the vast distances. First through the God Country, then into the Twin Whirlpools, a domain where 2 colossal spirals of energy, each several light-years wide, rotated endlessly. The gravitational pull was immense. Alternating between crushing force and violent repulsion, the deeper one went. Not even the strongest emperors had ever reached the core without being torn apart. Ji Hong explained its structure respectfully, noting how even teleportation could mean instant death if coordinates were slightly off. Luo Feng listened quietly, analyzing the space ripples through the Masha body fragment fused within his armor. They landed on a drifting asteroid 3 kilometers wide, caught in the endless current of the whirlpools. Contacting Yong Yen through the virtual universe, Luo Feng confirmed his arrival. She provided Tian Chen's coordinates, and the transaction concluded. Yong Yan's intelligence network, composed entirely of women and led by one of the Hong Alliance's shrine masters, was famed for precision. True to her reputation, her information was flawless. Luo Feng turned to Ji Hong and Heavy Arrow. Tian Chen was near. The next hunt was about to begin. Cautiously, they teleported closer, each jump perfectly measured. Within the vast rotating continent hidden in the larger whirlpool, Tian Chen Emperor rested cross-legged, his expression calm but wary. He had grown stronger since their last encounter, gaining 3 powerful slaves of his own, including the pinnacle soul master Qi Mang. His fortunes had risen. Many treasures, great wealth, a cycle of strength feeding strength. Yet the recent news of Blade River's massacre haunted him. He remembered their last clash, how Blade River had broken his illusion with terrifying resolve, wielding the flame god crystal without hesitation. He had escaped then only by luck. And now, Blade River's name was everywhere. Fear and regret mingled in his heart. A ripple appeared in the air. Tian Chen and his scaled companion turned sharply. 3 figures emerged: Ji Hong, Mountain Howl, and Fu Shui, Luo Feng's most powerful slaves. Recognition flashed in Tian Chen's eyes. They were all Emperor limits he knew, warriors who had once fought in Star Tower. Their sudden appearance startled him, but he reasoned they might be allies gathered for another venture. Still, a bad premonition grew in his chest. As he attempted to leave, the space locked down. There would be no retreat. The air trembled, and the 7 Undyings launched into battle. Energy waves cracked through the continent's crust as both sides unleashed burning, undying power. Tian Chen and Qi Mang used illusions to suppress Ji Hong and Fu Shui, but the tide shifted when Fu Shui received Luo Feng's silent command. The ice net unfurled. The sky turned to a frozen ocean. A 1,000,000-kilometer-wide domain of ice and crushing water enveloped the battlefield. Every movement slowed, every strike dragged through frozen weight. Tian Chen panicked, realizing Fu Shui's domain was far stronger than reports had ever described. He ordered his team to break free, but within the storm, a transparent thread, a binding weapon, shot forth. Qi Mang was ensnared instantly, his undying body forced to crumble and reform again and again, trapped in endless restraint. Tian Chen's fury exploded. He summoned his greatest treasure, the automaton weapon known as Separation Tower, its power infamous since Lifefall once wielded it. Channeling his undying energy into it, Tian Chen unleashed a jade-green beam aimed straight at Fu Shui. But Ji Hong reacted swiftly, summoning the ancient clock. The massive artifact shielded his allies, sealing them within its glowing barrier as the destructive arc struck. The blast of the Separation Tower collided against the ancient clock, shaking the void. Shockwaves rippled outward in waves that tore through the fractured continent. Within the barrier, Ji Hong, Fu Shui, and Mountain Howl stood firm, their undying bodies burning with immense power. Together, they were Emperor limits, a full tier beyond Tian Chen's current strength. Even without the ancient clock's protection, the blow would have only wounded them. Now, under its defense, it was barely a scratch. Within the resonating hum of the ancient clock, Ji Hong's lips curved into a cruel grin. The enemy had forced them to reveal one of their master's greatest treasures. Now, it was time to return the favor. His malevolent laughter echoed through the air as he poured undying energy into the clock. The demon note fire clock technique awakened within. Though its defensive properties were formidable, its true essence lay in its destructive resonance, a weaponized sound that shattered space and soul alike. Few in the universe could wield such a technique, as it demanded mastery over both fire and space laws. Purple Clock had once managed only the first level. But Ji Hong, chosen by Luo Feng precisely for his aptitude, had far surpassed that. He could now invoke the second stage, the true demon note. A deep metallic clang rang out, so powerful it seemed to bend reality. The sound became visible, a ripple of demonic resonance expanding at the speed of light. Within an instant, it reached Tian Chen's Separation Tower. Inside, Tian Chen's hands trembled. Controlling the Separation Tower had already drained much of his energy. He had only 82% of his undying essence left. When the demon note struck, the tower's jade-green glow flickered violently. The sound pierced straight through the walls and into his body. In that instant, his flesh felt as though molten metal poured into his veins, melting his divine essence. In a flash, nearly half of his body disintegrated into dust. His undying form dropped to a mere third of its full vitality. The tower's protection, though powerful, could only rival a typical true treasure's defense. Against Ji Hong's fully charged demon note, even that boundary crumbled. Had Ji Hong unleashed the attack without restraint, Tian Chen's existence would have ended completely. Despair filled Tian Chen's eyes. Panic clawed at his mind as he screamed inwardly for his slaves to protect him. He ordered Chi Mang and the others to form a shield, to buy him a moment to escape. But elsewhere, within Ji Hong's world ring, Luo Feng watched coldly through their shared soul link. The information came swiftly. Tian Chen was critically wounded, his undying body barely intact. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with resolve. It was time to end this. Through the link, he ordered 3 of his most dangerous warriors, Honed Heart, Sorrow Demon, and Chu Ken, to join the battle. Each was a pinnacle soul master, their presence enough to shift the tide of any war. In a breath, they vanished from his side and appeared within the ancient clock's domain. Tian Chen barely had time to register their arrival. He saw Fu Shui, Ji Hong, and Mountain Howl, and then 3 more figures materialized beside them, cloaked in power. The atmosphere turned suffocating as 6 Emperor-level auras ignited, burning undying energy like fuel. His panic deepened into terror. He recognized the new arrivals instantly. Honed Heart, a diamond-bodied warrior whose will was unshakable. Sorrow Demon, ethereal and deadly. And Chu Kan, cloaked in shadow like living stone. The realization hit him like a hammer. 3 soul masters, all Emperor pinnacle level, arrayed against him. He had no hope left. Desperate, he connected to the virtual universe. His consciousness surged through the link as he sent out a frantic broadcast across the human camp network. His message echoed through countless channels, transmitted to every warrior within 10 billion kilometers. He shouted that he had been ambushed by a group of other race warriors, powerful ones with true treasures and emperor limits among them, and he shared his coordinates. His only chance was for help to arrive. Even as his message spread, the Soul Master's combined assault struck him. Their godly energies surged into his body, suppressing his consciousness. His mind began to blur, his control slipping. The more he fought, the weaker his link to the virtual universe became. Soon, he couldn't even will his body to move. He couldn't self-destruct, couldn't resist. He was a puppet with strings cut, his consciousness screaming silently in the dark. Fu Shui extended the ice net, binding Tian Chen's motionless form. With effortless precision, he hurled the separation tower aside, claiming it for their master. Mountain Howl and Ji Hong seized Tian Chen's 3 slaves, subduing them before they could even react. The battle was over. Inside the world ring, Luo Feng reviewed the reports. Then messages began flooding in, urgent transmissions from allies and acquaintances, including Yong Yen. Each contained the same forwarded message, Tian Chen's cry for help. His expression darkened. He realized instantly what this meant. The secret was out. A call request appeared before him. It was Yong Yen. He accepted. Her image shimmered into view, elegant and sharp-eyed. Her smile carried both amusement and warning. She teased that she had barely finished her tea before Tian Chen's desperate message reached her, and now every warrior in the surrounding region knew his coordinates. She asked pointedly if he was the one behind the chaos. Luo Feng said nothing. Her expression softened slightly as she cautioned him to move quickly. Tian Chen was well known, trusted by many, and with 2 true treasures involved, a flood of warriors would surely come. Luo Feng thanked her quietly before ending the connection. He understood the danger perfectly. The allure of true treasures was enough to drive armies to madness. Soon, the Twin Whirlpools would swarm with hunters. But because Tian Chen's message mentioned multiple emperor limits wielding true treasures, most would hesitate, wary of the risk. Even so, Luo Feng was cautious. 2 names lingered in his mind, Seven Blade and Black Tea, both monsters within the human camp. If either arrived, the battle would become catastrophic. But if he moved fast, he could finish and flee before they arrived. His eyes hardened. Anyone who stood in his way, friend or foe, would die. Through the soul link, Honed Heart reported that Tian Chen was fully subdued, his mind open for control. Luo Feng decided to do it himself. Tian Chen had 3 slaves. Controlling him personally meant gaining 4 new subordinates. Letting another handle it would only risk losing more if something went wrong. Tian Chen's body lay motionless amid broken stone. His consciousness drifted, half frozen by suppression. Then, a silver-winged figure descended, Luo Feng himself. His divine presence was suffocating. Tian Chen's mind screamed in disbelief. He recognized that aura instantly. It was Blade River. He had suspected it before, but to see it confirmed broke him completely. His final thoughts were filled with fury and despair, but soon even those were erased. When his eyes reopened, they were calm, devoted. He knelt before Luo Feng, bowing deeply, calling him master. But the moment of victory was brief. Space ripples shimmered across the battlefield, 3 separate teams arriving almost simultaneously. Luo Feng's senses sharpened. They were already locking the space around him. Escape would be difficult. He ordered an immediate retreat, but it was too late. Space lockdowns sealed the area like invisible walls. The 3 teams fanned out, scanning for signs of combat. They were human camp warriors who had followed Tian Chen's coordinates. Yet when they scanned the area, they found nothing. No corpses, no signs of other race presence. Confusion rippled through their ranks. Then one warrior, the snow-furred Snowhorn Emperor, detected faint scanner interference 22 kilometers away. The others doubted him until he explained. His scanner was worth billions and never wrong. They sent out a wave of undying energy to probe the region. The response came instantly. A massive surge of godly power erupted, overwhelming their scan. A storm of energy exploded outward, and within it, 3 figures emerged from the distortion: Luo Feng, Tian Chen, and Ji Hong. The teams froze. Recognition hit them immediately. Blade River Emperor. And Tian Chen, alive, though gravely wounded. Shock spread. No one wanted to provoke Blade River, whose reputation for slaughtering Emperor limits was legendary. They hastily withdrew their attacks, bowing slightly, apologizing for the misunderstanding. Luo Feng's face remained cold and unreadable, though inside he exhaled quietly. His plan had worked. Anticipating pursuit, he had already hidden his group within his mini-scanner's cloaking field and transferred everyone else into the world ring. When the lockdown came, he simply reappeared as Blade River, presenting Tian Chen as his injured ally. After all, he was human, and Blade River saving a comrade made perfect sense. The gathered warriors quickly convinced themselves of this. They whispered about the bond between Tian Chen and Blade River, recalling past rumors of shared battles and near-death rescues. To them, this was an act of loyalty, proof of true friendship. Only Snowhorn Emperor seemed unconvinced. As Luo Feng ordered the teams to lift the space lockdown, Snowhorn refused. His eyes gleamed with dangerous curiosity. He revealed what he had learned, that he had attempted to contact Blade River through the army system but received a rejection. The system reported that Blade River had retired. Shock rippled through the teams. If he was no longer part of the army, then he wasn't protected by its laws. The unspoken taboo against attacking a fellow human no longer applied. Greed flickered in their gazes as they realized what this meant. Blade River, the owner of 2 true treasures, was now a free target. Tian Chen, loyal now to his master, shouted at them to stop, declaring that Blade River had risked everything to save him. But the others ignored him, their stares hardening. In the distance, dozens more teams appeared, drawn by Tian Chen's earlier distress signal. They couldn't teleport close due to the lockdown, but their scanners picked up everything. The growing crowd murmured with excitement. Luo Feng's frown deepened. The trap had sprung, and now the swarm gathered like vultures. He calmly turned to Tian Chen, ordering him into the world ring for safety. The onlookers didn't stop him. Many still thought Tian Chen was simply the same injured warrior, unaware he was now enslaved. As Luo Feng faced the encroaching masses, his wings spread, silver light gleaming across the shattered sky. His voice was cold and resolute. The chaos caused by the 2 true treasures had drawn countless predators, but now they all realized too late. Standing before them was not prey, but the hunter. The legend of Blade River Emperor was far from over. The storm he had unleashed in the Twin Whirlpools was only beginning to rise. And that's it for today's episode. Thanks so much for watching till the end. If you want to see the next episode, let's hit 50 likes on this video. Once we reach that goal, the next part will be out. Alright then, take care everyone, and I'll see you in another episode.